Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Rao Kolusu. Break my clock. I usually open this on the burnout and the stress. Nowadays, the theme is wellness space club. For those people who have not heard about it, I wanted to present what we are doing these days. I have started a club called Wellness Ways Club, uh, where I want to invite people to work with me on Zoom so that I can show them the exercises, the breathing, and the meditations that we do one on one so that I can really get some feedback and also help my friends and followers to realize their goals much better, much more safely, much more uh, quickly. That's the intention why we are doing that. Hopefully, people did of that, and I have placed the link for that at several places. And if you have any doubts, DM me Instagram. The aim of this not just see each other, but also really taking people along with motivation for the daily routines and also daily mind control, and also really helping them to do the correct breathing, correct asanas, and correct, appropriate to this level of that they had or um, experience they had. I will give some days uh, intermediate and also the advanced stages, and really help people to realize their own potential as we go along. You know, I also wanted to share a lot of literature that I went through in my life, and also the musical collections and some of the poetry. So there are a number of things we are going to share in this Wellness Based Club, and the club members will all be invited to join the Facebook group that I established for the BPAL company, which is my company. And so people in the uh, Facebook Live will be seeing me live sometimes. So if they have a special request of certain thing, I can come on the Facebook Live and talk to them too. I do these rooms quite regularly, but sometimes there will be so many requests for other rooms, so I visit them. But if I can schedule some rooms with my friends and followers, I think I can really work for their solutions much more you know uh, scheduled way. That is the idea of doing all this. So I've been doing these Zoom seminars, webinars for my friends and family, and also the colleagues since January 2020, and ever since the pandemic broke, and mostly concentrated on the pandemic, but also an enhancement of the human being and post COVID, and also what they can do with uh, various issues, mental issues, anxiety, depression, or relationships, grief, so many issues I can try to help out. And some people really reached out, and then I'm able to help them out in their situation of need. So all those things will be brought to a club, and then want to make it more like a regular thing where my friend, family, and colleagues, and also some other people who are following me, they can come to the wellness club and initiate discussions of their interest and bring their expertise and also share us too. So that good intention of making people come under one club and one room and one Facebook group would help to serve so I can be seeing them and making some relationships and making and acquaintances. So all that is not being I'm doing by the yoga practice in the morning. It's going well for me because I do the practice very well anyway, but I want to participate in a way that they are not hurt or they are listen, and then they can get some guidance. So that kind of, if you can do all of that, then my efforts will be successful in realizing the goals of my friends. That's the main thing I was always wanting to do. So I established a routine, like when they come, I would show them the way by self-study. What they can find out where they are physically, mentally, spiritually, and all that. But it's not going to be all same time. But you can start with the body and see where you have pain or neck pain, that, and then we can customize some routines for you. And also, if I know where you are working, how you are working, how can I improve ergonomic way of working, and also really not to allow the tension in the body and the mind during the work. That's what I believe. When I'm working, we can really observe, are we really stressing out due to some reason? Suppose you're lying certain way all the time, you're sitting certain way, and your shoulder is that, then you can uh, address that. It's a simple thing. For example, if you are looking down at the phone all the time, then the neck pain is there. You have to really use like this to put in front of you instead of looking down. You just look at that, ergonomic way, right? And sitting straight in the chair, and also back supporting chair. I think most of the people are doing it now, but sometimes we kind of slip the attention, and then we'll be slouching. We may be not getting out of the chair frequently. All those small things, right? So being aware, being in touch with the tension in our body, that really makes a difference. That's what I want to present to people, and the routines that they could use while they are working, so that they don't have special time for a yoga studio or evening exercise. They are okay, you go ahead and do that, but are you really aware in time of suppose I work in the hospital, am I really aware that I'm not in the steps, I'm taking the elevator all the time, or am I doing too much with the EMR? Am I not really going to the patient that much, doing everything on the computer? That kind of things can change, a little bit, and then we are actively being active, that kind of thing. So many reasons why I want people to come into the Wellness Space Club and be in front of me on Zoom and interact with me and communicate with me and tell me things that I can maybe give that's what help people with their bodily tensions, mental tensions, and also the whatever. I don't want to go into religion, but I want to really uh, elevate the spiritual side of our being. So attending to the being was very, very important for us in this age of information overload. Do this, but have the balance of attending to the being. Then I think the doing will be not harmful to us. Otherwise, if we are just doing, then we are getting neurotic a little bit, and then that is getting some people in terms of burnout. That's a major reason for the doctors, at least. The hours, the clerical work, the lack of satisfaction in the job itself is causing so much burnout with my colleagues. I work specially with them because I know the atmosphere, I know the reasons, I know what they could do. Basically, comprehensive self care. That is where you attend to your lifestyles and you attend to the four pillars of wellness: the food, activity, the sleep, and the meditation. Each one can be looked at and can be improved. We usually don't pay attention to the food, we are in the hurry, or we just are not active, like we talked about, or we don't sleep well due to so many reasons. Especially with this information overload, IT people and people with accountants or physicians, lawyers, all these people, they complain to sleep very well, or they get a middle of the night and they don't go back. All those things, cumulative effect of damage on the body mind, and that's why I wanted them to be aware of that. It, bit by eventually they will have a relaxed approach, relaxed in the body and the mind. And when they go to work, they respond with much less all the stress hormones, because you are not using the fight or flight thing or hurried thing or push down. All those things will be gone. So you'll be more non-reactive but responsive to your job. That is the daily and all through the day. If you can do that, you help yourself. And then to improve the quality of sleep, there are so many ways we can do that. The sleep itself repairs whatever damage you have been doing to the body and mind. You will not notice that. You will not perceive that now. But when you go into the little bit of 40s, 50s, 60s, feel that in the body. It can tell you. It doesn't have to be like that. You can renew yourself much better if you understand what the sleep is, how much sleep you can have. And when you get up in the morning, you'll be raring to go to the having the servant mentality or servant leadership mentality really makes you go to work anytime. If you love it, I don't mind is also anytime you give me work that I like. I really I like to take care of my patients. I like to take care of people who come to me for different reasons. That's why I don't mind doing yoga twice a day with people, because it nurtures me. It kind of feeds, gets me a lot of energy. So I don't feel like at all I'm doing work, because I'm always on the bandwagon of how to help, how can I service? That's another thing too. Once we have that, as does I think we should go back to the service attitude, and we'll get a lot out of that, because we are really helping a patient and also his life is involved in that. So this is very meaningful to me. The more I'm involved with the other posts, the more I relish what I'm doing, and I really thank them for giving me the opportunity. And that is the namaste I do every somebody who is asking for my help, and that really helps me feel good everything. And then gratitude is the appreciation of what abundance we have in that particular interaction. So I wanted to introduce this to all people so that they can uh, make use of this wellness club. And once they register, we'll send them the Zoom link, and then they can come to the morning session or evening session according to which they let me know, and then we will schedule that. And also basic, intermediate, advanced. If you are a complete new, then I will take you as basic. But if you know some experience, then you go to the next two categories, and accordingly we can devise programs. Also, we can devise programs according to your needs and according to the underlying diseases that you have. That's the advantage of being a physician and yogi, because I cannot understand both sides. But I don't treat people medically on this club. That's something you have to be clear. I will be asking you that you get clearance from your physician, and then once it is there, we won't contradict the treatment. We will just improve your lifestyles so that you will improve your wellness, and why your diseases will be helped too. Probably your physicians appreciate that, because you are being disciplined, you're improving your health, and that helps them a lot to treat you better too. So this is all a movement of wellness oriented health system. How can we make everybody really motivate themselves to be well, not only themselves, their families and their societies, and whatever uh, city, or incremental, right? Because most of the time these insurance companies are rationing the care now, and also don't allow the doctors complete freedom to treat with the best sometimes, because they will get it from the patient that they will take the formulary, and the formulary they get the cheapest drugs. So sometimes brand drugs are cheap because they don't want to pay that much, but then brands sometimes control better, and patient is very good condition diabetically. So many times it happened to me. My patient is very well controlled, but when he goes to the hospital and everything is changed, and then they come out than they were in the other conditions. They got over the pneumonia, but then they gave the steroids and they gave the irregular insulin and irregular food, and these people could not sleep. All that messes up their diabetes, for example, and then they come out and have to work so hard again for a couple of months to get them under control. This happens quite often, and that's why going to the hospital, if you reduce it, you're better off. And keeping your medications as possible, you are better off. If you're eating good, you are better off. Being better, you are better off. If you are meditating and then really in your mind, my meditation may be different than other people's. Okay, don't have to compare anybody. You start where you are, and then you get the help what you need, and then you work according to your capacity, your understandings, your background. But the basic thing is try to really calm your mind twice a day in whatever job you have. All the information overload we have. This is, I think, going to be a very. I just tell people put devices away for an hour before you sleep. They should go to sleep. And then in the morning, don't wake them up for 1 hour. What do you do that 1 hour prior to sleep? What do you do 1 hour after you get up? That is what I'm going to train you so that you will have a more resilience and more stability. And then when you go, you won't be reactive in the sense it's like a programmed reaction. A lot of people do that. Instead, respond to the job tasks and then do them with intensity but no tension. When we relax but with no lax. Those are the catchy words that I use, but then just to convey the meaning, what I'm talking about. So, anybody else want to have any question anywhere, and I can talk to them on Clubhouse, Wisdom, and Instagram. I'm open to talk to anybody. If they want to come, they can their hands, and then we can have a discussion of any of these aspects, any doubt about this wellness club or my ways of doing things. You can, really tell me about that too. You know, uh, so there are so many people on the Instagram too. I'll just say hi to all of them. Vinay and Lokesh, Nerdman, Pavan, Daryl, and John, Martin, and Self Love Junkie, Sandeep. Okay, I'm very good. If somebody wants to come up here, okay, I invited her. So hopefully, hi, Jewel. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the narcotics themselves they induce sleep during the day also because you are taking for the pain, and that kind of messes up with the sleep. You don't take okay, that's good. But y- ah, ah, yeah, yeah, You can. Yeah. Mm. See, the pain medication kind of lowers our pain threshold. To improve that, you can start with cutting down the medication a little bit, maybe alternate days or half a dose, something like that. Alternate days. You take full dose today, half dose, like that. You want to taper yourself. That's what you are doing it already. You told me that. But combine deep breathing exercises before you go to sleep and after you get up the sleep. you know and during the day couple of times also. That really helps you to bear down a lot of things, but also gives you the balance with the pain. So that is a simple thing that you can do by yourself. You don't have to have anybody. Just understand what's the deep breathing exercise is. Basically sit down with your spine erect and close your mouth and take deep breath through the nose, in and out, like 8 times a day. Before you eat breakfast, before you eat lunch, before you eat dinner. Because we want the stomach to be empty when you do this. That's a simple one. If you want more complex, I can teach you, but then you can start with this. This is good for you. And also have to understand how to control your rapid activity of mind going all over. Do you have something like that, or are you very calm or usual? How are you? Yeah. Yeah. So that is something. A simple meditation thing is you can concentrate on the when you are breathing. That itself cuts down the mind a little bit. Then do some focused work. Okay, whatever you are doing, just to focus on that. Just with that, that's good enough. Okay, pay attention to every action. Say that means, suppose you are cutting down some fruits for your fruit salad, for example. Okay, so you take the fruits, you wash them, and then you cut them slowly. When you are doing each act, like when you are putting the fruit on the tray, or you are washing the knife with the fruit, cutting down, pay attention to all those independent actions. Don't do them in a hurry, or talking to the phone, or paying attention to music. None of that. Just bring yourself. You are doing dishes, just on that. Good. That kind of focus will improve you. See, what is important is we need to focus on being aware. That is not there. Thoughts go all over. So you want to bring back to that. So in my yoga practice in the morning, do is I make them be here and now, in the present, through the practice with. Okay, and cultivate that presence through the day like this. Pay attention to every action. That's simple. And then before you sleep, go through the day reverse order and see whether you have any reactions. Now, right? We can have anger, or whatever emotions we have. All those reactions, just to review them, judge them, just review them and see, is this trivial or it is significant in my life? Okay, if they are trivial, wash them off. Because that perspective gives you, okay, let it go. And sleep on kind of empty mind. In the morning, when you get up, don't get into the thought right away. Because you put the devices away 1 hour before you sleep, and you wake them up 1 hour after you wake up, right? Those 2 hours you want to use for yourself. In the morning, when you get up, don't jump on the train wagon of thoughts, because the moment you allow the thought, that will go one thought to next thought. It will work that you will create. So what you want to do is you want to be awareness of the nature around you, living beings around you, circumstances around you. Don't plan anything, because you will do at least for a few minutes like that, and then start with slow breathing and exercising, being here and now. That kind of thing really helps you to sleep better, and sleep better with less pain. This won't happen right away. It will happen with a few weeks of that. Um, did you get all of that, Joel? Or Yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. You can start physically like this exercise or pain, whatever you have, or just what I call what's called head to toe yoga in 5 minutes. That's what I teach people to do in the morning because after sleep you wake up, you can have some stiffness of the joint. But if you do these joints from toe to head slowly, it will be very easy for you to really loosen up the entire body, and then you feel all things and everything, and then they will lessen it. So this is being with yourself in the morning in the present, and then the breathing also helps you, and then watching the nature and understand. Don't comment, oh, it was such a snowy day. Just watch the snow, enjoy the white snow. Then you go to clean it up, you'll do that anyway, but enjoy it, right? Yeah. I think those things, if you do, I think you are doing a very good job of not taking medication during the day, and that will carry to the night also. Okay. Wonderful. Very good questions by Jewel. Anybody else come up? Okay. There are people on the Wisdom app and also on the Instagram too. So I'm looking for people to have questions so that I can answer them. Otherwise, I can give you more information of what we are doing in that wellness club in the morning. Uh, we are giving a link whereby they join me on the Zoom, and then we are kind of asking them what is that they want to have in the exercise for a week or for a month, and whatever goals they have, or whatever the problems they had, those kind of things, helping them to be goal oriented, but at the same time, as I said, they are kind of happy to work on their bodies and that kind of thing. Hi, Gnaneshwar, welcome. Good morning, doctor. Good morning. How are you? I'm great. Thanks for asking. How about you? I'm good. Good. I great when I talk to people. As usual. Always energetic. Yeah. Nice. Okay, just I was listening to you and Jules talking. Yeah. And this is regarding the question on meditation pranayama. Yeah. How much is the minimum time which we have to do, yeah, to bring our mind to control? Because I have been practicing yoga and pranayama. We are able to give only less time for pranayama, and yeah, just I wanted to check if we have any minimum time no, or the duration. No, there's nothing like a minimum time, but it becomes of how, you know widespread your spread of thought are. The very fact that you're asking how much time should go, why not take the full half an hour or one to balance yourself? This hurriedness in our life is causing a lot of problems. You know, I don't want you to be late to anything. I don't want to be unpunctual because I'm like so punctual. If you ask me 7 o'clock, I'll be there 6:50. So I'm always ahead of the time. But I'm not hurried at all. I have this slow, relaxed pace because once you are relaxed in the body, relaxed in the mind, this hurriedness goes away. But you are very disciplined about it. But generally, what it is, Gnaneshwar, how scattered your thought is the first thing that you notice, right? So spend time to get them together, concentration, you know, and then once you are concentrated, kind of slow down, uh, then you can watch the thoughts. As you watch the thoughts, and then you can really identify, is it a negative thought or a positive thought, and then you can try to replace it with a positive perspective of whatever negatives. Suppose you have so many negatives, you can say, I am alive. That is my positive today. And that kind of coming back to the positive perspective, anything, or you can say, well, this too shall pass. Whatever the situation is, this too shall pass. The mind won't go and make trouble for yourself. It will settle down, and using the same mind, you can solve the problem. Okay, so first concentrate. How do you concentrate? Just on the breath, that is the upasana, or you can have an image, or you can have some song or some light music. Or you can, like I was describing to Jewel, you can down sit back straight and close your eyes, then take deep breaths and focus on touch of the air with your nose, the sound it makes as it comes in and out. you know all those subtleties will bring you back here. Suppose your thought goes so far away, you have to bring it back again to the nose. So that kind of practice concentration for a few minutes. Suppose you get it for within 5 minutes. Then you can spend another 5-10 minutes being aware of the movement of watching the thought and being the witness of the thought. If you can come to that stage, then you will see there are no unwanted thoughts, and you focus on one thought, and the next step would be going beyond the thought and staying in your real self. You know, then you don't have to meditate, because by nature your real self is less conscious, blissful feeling. Okay, that takes a long time. Main thing is, don't let the thoughts scatter all around. Bring them back to the normal. Usually, if you start for 5-15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, that's enough. But do both in the morning, in the evening. I would suggest do in the dawn time and dusk time, or where your work begins and then after your work ends. That kind of things, timings are very good to settle your neurological state, and then you will be able to work. But if you sit down with the TV, watching exciting and all that, that may not be working for your favor. So you want to have some classical music, something relaxing, something light reading, or those kind of things are okay. But eventually, before you go to sleep, you do this exercise. I told Jewel about reviewing the reactions and carrying some positive thoughts into your sleep. So meditation is not just sitting in a few places and then do everything else. All through the day, you want to practice being in awareness. Yeah. 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 Mm. Mm. Yeah. I only add one thing to Glaneshwar. I only add one thing, that during the exercise, after the beginning and end, okay, but during exercise also, just be in the moment, present moment. That way in my paper. Be here and now, entire hour. Okay, that will help a lot. And when you are doing the work, during the work, be focused, attentive to every action. So if you practice awareness like that, then you will get this meditation thing very quick. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. So anybody else want to come up, or anyone? Uh, Jewel is done. I don't know. Granish is done. Uh, Shilpash, Kunal are there, and there are so many people on the Instagram. Uh, there's one of the important things brought out with the Gnaneshwari, doing meditation as an act separate from the daily life means the long run, because you want to bring that meditative mind to the work. That means you are not having extraneous thoughts, especially now with multitasking, multi-stimuli society. We can read that. Okay, so be careful with that. Once you understand that, then you can really come up with real agitated mind all the time. People may we are so smart we can do it, but then eventually if something goes out of whack, then you will be really paying for it. Okay, so what you want to be meditate all the time in the in the sense. Hi, Pawan. How are you?
Hello,
So,
sir. Hello, sir. Yes,
uh,
sir. Continue, sir. You
yeah.
were telling something.
Yeah. See, basically, if you cultivate this kind of attitude through the day, through the busy, where you don't allow yourself to be driven by so many stimuli, so many, things coming at us. You, even if you have a phone call, you have something you are working on the iPad and all that. Don't attend to all of them. One at a time. Give complete attention. Be aware, and that's how I handle. I do a lot of stuff, but I don't allow my mind to be invaded by other things. Whatever I'm doing, I give complete focus to that, even if it is a few seconds. If you cultivate that, then this information overload, this multiple stimuli will go down a little bit, and slowly you will realize, okay, I'm able to focus on one thing at a time, and that becomes a real good habit. Okay, so you always want to do that. Okay, so yeah, Pawan, you have any question or any comment?
Yeah, sir. Now, I heard someone was asking, he's doing pranayama and everything, and he's telling how long will it take to, you know, get to that state, he's telling. But, sir, once you're in that state, no, it's worth it, sir. Like, I just wanted to tell that, like, it becomes like instant, sir. When you're in that state, it's like, you're in that state, like,
Yeah.
otherwise you're not in that state, or either you're in that state. It doesn't take time. It
Yeah.
happens in a flash, but
Yeah. But
you just have to.
yeah, people are not used to that, and also the society is building us with so many assaults on our nervous system, so it becomes tough, and also these medications, these alcohol, and this drugs, all those things are there too, and also this persistent excitement, the music, the pubs, the everything. There's a place for them and there's a way to do that too. But if you allow that to invade you and then you lose the control, everything will be okay for a while. But then if something triggers you, activates your mind, where really sad thing has happened in your life, like an accident, like somebody, a loved one's death, or lose of job, or a natural disaster, then it's very difficult to control the activated thought because it goes all over the place. That's why you want to cultivate this from as young as possible and do that. When I was studying the ancient wisdom, one thing I noticed was they made these very young kids get into this habit of having control of their thoughts and emotions and everything, not by completely submissing them, but by understanding and going beyond that. you know so the like, for example, somebody was telling this story. There was a restaurant, people are having lunch, and suddenly this lady finds a cockroach on her, and she jumps up, and then she was screaming. As she was screaming, other people are also screaming too. Then she wipes off the cockroach on her, and then the other lady gets it on her cloth, and she starts to jump screaming too. And they all do like that for a while. Then the server, the whoever is attending to these people, they come, and he slowly picks it up, and then takes it away and puts it away. So he is the one who is not reacting to it, whereas everybody else is reacting. He's responding to what was happening. After all, cockroach is not going to do anything to them, it's only their reaction. So, remembering this, how can we be non reactive as much as possible? That makes it much more easy. The more you are familiar with your work, you like your work, the less reaction you will have because you are used to that. You don't have to imagine a danger in something that's not there. So that kind of thing has to be practiced, and then when you practice it, once you keep your system non-reactive as much as possible with the deep breathing, focused thinking, and also really being aware of the situation and wherever you are. If you can do that, then you will be really, the deep breathing, what it does, it relaxes the parasympathetic nervous system. So you are not secreting the fight or flight syndrome. When you are imagining the danger with a cockroach, you are having that fight or flight syndrome activated, and that's why they are reacting so bad. Whereas whereas the other way, it's now people are relaxed. So be like that. That's what they tell you all the time. So it's not a question of time; it's a question of where you are in the nervous system, how reactive you are, how clouded you are, how much information you carry with yourself after the works are done. See, each work creates an I, like an ego, and then it finishes,
Okay.
it goes away. The problem is what you retain from that work, what kind of thing
Okay.
unnecessarily, and that is the problem. Okay, so focused work is very very important. Like I said several times, Ravana said this: do with your hands but with a silent mind. See, he said it's not the amount of work is the problem, it is the invading thoughts while you are working is the problem. So if you're,
Sir, it's so true, sir.
yeah,
So true. Last time you told that, and I've been following that, and I'm not getting any worry about work. If
yeah,
someone tells me also I won't worry,
yes,
I'll get it done. They'll be shocked.
yeah,
Bro, you did it. You are not like that. Yeah,
yeah,
bro, I'm calling. I'm upgraded. I'll tell.
yeah. Your energy is not wasted by having all the other tasks.
Hmm.
You are in flow with the work and you are really wanting to do it. You finish it off and then next go to the next one. That's the how I think. That's why people ask me, how come you have so much energy? Because I don't waste my energy. Suppose I'm talking to you, it's a focused talk. I don't have to have everything around me coming to me. So I will spend the time that I want to spend with my friends, and afterwards I will do other things. That kind of thing doesn't waste
So
our energy.
no multitask. First work, one task.
Focus on one task, then you will do series of multitask, but then you are not paying attention to this and all that. You are paying only attention to one task at a time, even if a few seconds, even if it becomes like a few minutes, and slowly you get used to it. You see, now the mind is so focused and attentive, then it doesn't have to spend much energy. So, anything else, Pawan, or anybody else wants to pose a question? There are people on the clubhouse too. Let's see.
Sure,
Sundar,
sir. Sure.
yeah, Kunal. We'll ask them if they want to come up and ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the time now? 8:33. Okay. Uh,
India, sir. In India, the time is 8:03, sir.
8:30.
8:03.
Okay. So it seems everybody is quiet there. Those I want to encourage them to come up and ask questions. Then we can talk more about it.
Okay, sir.
Anything else?
Done, sir.
Yeah. All right. I think everybody is contented. Looks like. So I have nothing much to say today. So I will see you tomorrow, Pawan. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.